Alright, so this video is going to be entitled Understanding Inferno, and I'm going to go over from a shot caller emulator point of view how to play the map properly on T side and CT side, and I'll be going over a lot of stuff, a lot of different setups and how to deal with aggression anywhere, and everywhere on the map, and that's pretty much it. So we're going to start off. Sorry, I just had to verify. Alright, my settings are all good. I'm gonna put this on my right. Great. Alright, so we're gonna start off with the T side, obviously, and I'm gonna go over different pistol strats. So, like on every single map, I like to keep my pistol strats really straightforward. So they're gonna be straight pushes somewhere. So what I like to do if I want to take B, I'm gonna send 3 people Bs. So the equipment I want to buy is on pistols. On T-pistol, I tend to want to have at least 3 people with Kevlar, and then 2 people with nades. So on a map like Inferno, I feel like mollies are a lot more useful than flashes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have someone get smoke flash. Someone's gonna get smoke molly. Then we're gonna have someone sit T-steps, watch mid. I'm gonna have someone back of alt, watching the window peek. I'm gonna have 3 people B, and those 3 people, they can wait out nades here, and as soon as they wait out the nades, they're gonna walk up on the right side of the wall here. Then I'm gonna pop flash recorder for them. They're gonna clear everything close up. Alright, then we're gonna hold for a second here. Once we've got control of that, now we want to know if they're smoking. So as soon as we take control of that, we jiggle PCT or what's it called? Pre-fire CT spawn. I want to see if they're smoking. So if they're not smoking within the next 5 seconds, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my mid player go up B, and this guy come as well. So he's going to run all the way back 2 steps and come. I want to have a 5-man B take. On pistol, I always want to storm through and overwhelm the CT. So with my 2 smokes, I want to smoke spools and CT. I didn't buy nades. Rip. Oh, god damn it. So you want to smoke spools. The way a spool smoke should be is like this. That way it blocks the guy that would be peeking here. He's got to jump on the spool, on the second spool to actually see. From the first one, he can't see anything. And you don't want it to be too deep. I mean, that's why you want it to be this short. Otherwise, if it's too deep, he's gonna be able to jump on this. And the other thing is that you don't want it to be too short, so that there's a way for him to play behind the smoke and hold the cheeky angle. And then I'm gonna smoke CT. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have my guy molly and what's it called? New box, because it's probably the most annoying to me. If you only had one molly to use, you'd always use it on new box. It's the most annoying spot, especially in pistol round, where you'll rarely see USPs play first or second oranges. So he's gonna molly new box. There are plenty of videos on how to throw mollies. You can use this one. So he's gonna molly new box, and with the other flash I got, I might be coming here and pop flashing. And everybody here is just, I mean, my 3 Glocks with Kevlar, they're just gonna run, entry. The way you wanna entry a site, the site on banana. So one guy's gotta watch their run through here, and all the 4 other guys. What I usually want to do is this guy's gonna be holding emo, and have 2 people come across here, and their role is to push on this side. And have timing with this guy, alright? That's what I want to be doing. So these 2 are the first contact, and this guy basically just there to trade, while my 4th guy is just holding emo for this guy to, in case he decides to speak wide, I guess. So you're gonna walk up here, and you're gonna peek this at the same time. This guy's gonna do the same exact thing and trade with you guys. I mean, since what's it called? New box is gonna be mollied. What you want to be doing is actually, whenever you smoke new box, having a guy run up here isn't really important. So you can have 3 people come up here while someone holds emo, and then you're all carrying emo. So that's a good pistol strat. another good one is going mid to B. Alright, it's really straightforward. You want to smoke this. Oh god, I missed it. Smoke moto. And wrap, and this is a no stop strat. And when I say no stop strat, is you're never stopping. Nobody is ever stopping. You're always holding W on this, because if you ever stop and delay your push, this is when you can give your opponents the time to flank banana, and basically be at banana while you guys are taking the side, which is terrible. You really want to just hold W and be CT spawn as fast as possible to avoid what I just said, and to avoid the B player, the CT player. For him to like you don't want him to be in a good position when you're pushing CT, right? So he's obviously going to be here, and that's fine. But you never want him to be able to cross here and maybe play a game angle like this with his teammate library. That's never what you want. When you're splitting B, you always want to make sure that you're getting 3v1. So you're going to send 3 people at mid, and 2 people B. This is a two smoke strat. So you only buy 2 smokes and then 3 people with and then someone can buy a molly, right? Smoke molly, and he's gonna be the one smoking truck side. The second guy's gonna be smoking moto, and this guy, as soon as usually what you want to be doing is he's gonna be holding mid. He cross mid, and he's gonna smoke truck. He's gonna make his way with his teammate, so the other guy's holding banana like this, and he's gonna make his way up banana. And as soon as they're walking here, they're just clearing. So these guys, what they want to make sure is to not push banana too early, right? So whenever you do a mid to B split, you want them to make their way up banana. So basically peak corner as these people are crossing here. That way, when the CTs have the information that the terrorists are in CT spawn and they're flanking them. They've got, the CTs have 2 choices. It's either, they've got 3 choices. It's either turtle and construction, or push CT, or push banana. The better players will stay in construction and push CT and push banana. So you never want your players to be caught out as they're pushing banana. You always want them to be holding these angles. And as soon as these guys have the cross, then it's the time for you guys to move forward. And you can molly new box and just peek the side with your teammate. You shouldn't be peeking this too wide. What your teammates should be doing in CT is not go construction, and everybody's going to side. The reason why is because like I said, something else that the CTs can do is group up and play 2 construction. So someone's going to play garden, and someone's going to play on the right side of construction right here. There's going to be a really gay setup. So for you guys to go CT to go construction to that crossfire is deadly. So that's really not a good idea. That's a principle that you need to master on Inferno, is when you don't have construction control and you know that they could be there, you don't go there. Literally, you don't take that risk unless you have multiple people and you know that there could be only one guy there. So whenever you know 2 players could be in construction, don't take it. It's highly unlikely they're going to be able to take it. Construction is really fucking. It's one of the better spots to hold if you're in it. So yeah, mid to B split. That's pretty much it. I talked about timing. Yeah, that's it. So everybody's gonna want to run inside. And you're basically all clearing the side. You can always save one guy. So like the 5th guy is gonna flank construction late. You can do that and have the other 4 run inside. Like I just said, you want to hold W the entire time. You want to avoid fighting these people right here. And you don't want to start getting into a jiggle peek fight, right? If this guy is jiggle peeking you, like he's just shoulder peeking and shooting like this, you don't want to keep hold an angle on him. You want to hold W. So you want to run on this. Usually when someone jiggle peeks, he's never gonna peek. It's either you want to make him peek wide enough so that he's got to commit to the peek and can't fall back after it, or you and that's exactly actually that's all you need to do, right? When someone's jiggle peeking like this, you want to hug the side he's not going to be able to see you and hold W that way. Just mid to B has to be fast paced on a pistol. Obviously, if it's a gun round, it's something else. You can warp picks and stay in CT spawn for a while. But in the pistol, in my opinion, you need to go fast. Because you don't have map control basically. Alright, so the other strategy you could do on Abyssal, smoke this, smoke here, and have a porch with multiple, like 4 people porch, and one guy just lurking in halls. And you can flash pit. You can molly pit if actually molly pit wouldn't be really interesting. And you're just all running inside and clearing these spots, so you're all getting in close range battles, which is what you want on T-side pistol. So that's it. Now we're gonna go into our default. The first thing I'm gonna be talking about is literally the most important thing on this map, and it's called my boy Banana. All right, the reason Banana is literally the most important spot on this map is because with it the CTs have an insane amount of information. They can stack A site, and without it, the terrorists can exude a huge amount of pressure on the other side. So, and by that I mean you can actually, it's easy to push off CTs from mid, and to make them come into a passive setup because they don't have 4 people there. And once they're in a passive setup with only 3 players, at A, executes are favorite T side. So, how to take Banana control? So you all, obviously, there are ways for CTs to just take early Banana control if they use a lot of utility, right? So if the CTs decide to smoke deep Banana, that's not enough, by the way. If all they do is smoke and nade stack, you should push through. And the way you should push through is you should come here. Obviously, the smoke's not gonna be up as soon as you're there. You're gonna want a molly car. Go in front of car, right? A molly like this. That way they can't actually push. Then you want to wait out the nade stacks and cross on the right side. That's what you want to be doing. Now, if they do molly, see, like I said, if CTs really want to take Banana control and they want to use a lot of utility, they can do it. They can smoke end of Banana and then double molly, right? They're gonna molly like this and then molly a little deeper. And this way, you guys really can't run up. If you run up, you're all gonna burn. You're probably gonna get nade stacked and naded after you've burned. And it's terrible. It's a terrible position for you to be in. So, if you're playing a team that when they've smoked down Banana, they double molly, and obviously you're never gonna know what they're gonna do until they do it, right? So it's all about adapting on the fly. So if you're calling, just your default should be a 2-1-2, 2 Banana, 1 mid, and 2 halls. What we see a lot of pro teams do is send a lot more people towards what they want to take early. So and in the pro scene, it comes down to anti-stratting and knowing how the CTs like to play B side, right? So if a team like Luminosity who likes to op B a lot, like that's pretty much that's all that Fallen does, is op B, and you don't want to contest him or use a lot of utility to counter that, then what Fnatic does is they don't take Banana control and then they all go alt. 3 people go alt and one guy go mid, and they take mid control early, and that's fine. But to me, it's fine, but it's not the perfect thing to do. To me, the perfect thing to do is, unless they use a shit ton of utility to take Banana control, you should always contest it early. The reason is because the same way the same way they can molly, you can molly them. Like I said, you can molly car, and you can molly right there, and they're all stuck. They can't push. They can't, like, they're gonna be running through 2 mollies to push you down, and that makes no sense for them to do that. So, and as soon as all the mollies have dissipated, then you can just come here and have someone pop flash over the wall. It's gonna flash here, and just take it yourself. So yeah. So you, like I said, you want to be able to adapt on the fly. So like the first time you call your default and your 2 players come up here and you're waiting for nade stacks. Like when you're waiting for nade stacks, you're gonna see, alright, they mollied twice, let's just fall back. Wait out the mollies, and then we're gonna take Banana with the mid player. We're gonna have 3 people go B. And what you want to be doing when you want to retake Banana is you never want to like when they smoke you, right? Say they smoke, like they've mollied, like they molly and then they smoke. The good thing about for terrorists, about teams that like to smoke down Banana right off the bat, is that usually they're gonna be using 3 smokes. So like an A player is gonna use a smoke at the big end of the round, and and then the 2 B players are still gonna have their smokes up, and they're gonna throw the second one's gonna come at around a minute 30, and the third one's gonna come at a minute 12. So The good thing about that is that banana is, the B players don't have any utility left by 55 seconds. And when you can still take banana control with 55 seconds left in the round and do something else. Like, you don't, it's not because, literally, my point is that they can't hold you long enough for you to have to go banana, to take B once you take banana control. So you still have time left after you've taken banana control when CT smoke down B. Right? That's my point, basically. With 55 seconds, you can take banana control and still have about 40 seconds left in the round to do something else elsewhere. Right? But at the same time, what you don't want to be doing is, when you know that they use a lot of utility, you don't want to have 3 people sit these steps all holding hands or boosting over and doing some fucking quirky shit. What you want to be doing is having one guy stay T stairs and the rest of the team group up, take halls control and take mid control early. That's what you want to be doing, right? And whereas if a team doesn't exude a lot of pressure in banana, they play pretty much passively on banana, right? You want to, or like basically they don't use that much utility, so you can easily molly them off and they'll just back off. What you want to be doing is, depending on the team on the teams you're playing, right? You want to come here, ball flash this. You can always come by right here and molly corner. That way, the opera can't just hold the angle. And then you can pop flash it again for your 2 riflers to come up here and then clear the angles. You can, that's a good thing you can do. And once you've taken banana control, what you want to be doing is forcing early smokes. You don't want to just take banana control and do nothing, just hold back here. Because as soon, like, what the CTs are going to do, depending on whether they have an AWP or not, they're going to be either jiggle peeking CT, or they're going to be jiggle peeking here, or they're going to play off of contact, from off angles, like this. This is what they're going to do, right? And they're going to keep their smokes until they see someone. So whether they're jiggle peeking, they're going to keep their smokes. If he's jiggle peeking here, so the other guy's going to hold the flash or smoke off. And once they spot someone, alright, let's smoke first. I'll smoke first. And that's how they... Oh my god, that's the first time I've ever smoked banana from schools. I am not a B player. But that's what they want to be doing. They're gonna wait as long as possible before they can throw their first passive smoke. Because their goal is to use their first smoke at around 1:15. That way the third smoke can come in at about 40 seconds, and it really blocks your execution. And your goal is to make sure that they waste their first smoke early. Like at 1:35, you want to make them waste their smoke. And if they don't do that, if like, because you can always pop flash that angle right here, right? I mean, you can do it on the fly. You can just flash here, and just peek wide and clear this angle and this angle with that flash. It's a great pop flash. And peek a little bit wider. And with that flash, if he was jiggle peeking, he's getting blind. He's gonna have to fall back and smoke. He's always gonna do that. He's not gonna take the chance of re-peeking. He could always flash and peek, but it's not. Most players are just gonna fucking smoke. As soon as they're blind, they're just gonna fall back and smoke. So that's what you want to be doing. You want to force smokes early. You want to force mollies early. It's usually gonna be smokes more than mollies though. And if you notice that teams don't like to, like, if you've peeked this and they're not peeking you, and then like you throw a flash over and you peek spools and he's actually not peeking you either, that means that they're both playing in sight or they're playing off angles, like I said. What you want to be doing is the next gun round, because usually on the first gun round you can't really call an early group up in B. So like the good ways of forcing smokes is to smoke CT. That's gonna force a smoke 100% every single time. So you can do that, or the second gun round, you take banana control, but instead of doing a 2-on-2, you wanna do a 1-1-3, just like on pistol round. You want this guy to play passive, this guy to play passive mid, and then you want to group up with 4 people early in B, just walking, and then you're gonna do a contact push. So you can throw the same pop flashes, then you're gonna peek, and then so what's gonna happen is one guy, usually the operator, is gonna be holding CT, and then the second, all 3 guys, what they can do is just flash, smoke. I mean, it's usually gonna be smoke, flash, and then just push with 3 people. Or you can even do an execute, right? Because I mean, an execute wouldn't be great. So like when you throw that flash on the fly and you're this far up, even if they smoke you off, you can still just run past the smoke, and I mean they're not gonna gain an advantage by smoking you off. So all they can do to actually stop what's it called, a contact push, is for them to counter flash at a great time. But since you're all walking, they shouldn't be able to counter flash that well, right? So like the thing I was saying is, if you're smoking when you're this up and then you're pop flashing, you're all crossing, there are no counter flashes from sight that can blind you. The only good flash comes from here, and nobody plays this. Like usually when people play off of content, when CTs play really passive, they want to be shoulder peeking this. They're not going to be waiting here for a counter flash. So yeah, that's how you play banana basically. I think I've covered mostly everything on banana. So when the CTs are playing with smokes like these, just wait out these smokes, right? Anytime the CTs throw an early smoke at 140, just wait it out. It's like they've basically lost the round if you guys can just stay alive, because a late B take is unstoppable, unless like the CTs have stacked the side, which they should never be able to do. And this is gonna come back. It's not gonna come back to bite me in the ass. It's gonna. I was gonna say it's gonna come back to. I mean, we're gonna go back to talking about defaults and how to take map control. The goal on Inferno is to deny information everywhere. I mean, that's the goal on every single map on this side. But that's what map control gives you. It gives you, like, obviously brackets itself doesn't give you much. It just what good it does to you is that it denies a shit ton of information with the CTs, right? So say you don't take brackets control. What the CTs are usually like, or you only take brackets control when you want to execute on A. What the CTs are gonna do is the operator is gonna pulse here, and he's gonna have a rifle either shoulder peeking this or peeking some kind of off angle right here, or even play below the pillar like this, or they're gonna play passive porch and the operator's gonna be by himself, just he's just getting information. Like this is a safe spot for him. As soon as he whiffs or whatever, just can just fall back and play more passive. So that's what they're gonna be doing. And if you don't take mid control, or you don't smoke this guy off every single round on default, that means that every single round you're gonna see an early rotate to B whenever you go B, and whenever you do go B, there's always gonna be two people there. That's never what you want to see happening on T side. On T side, you always want to take B when you know that the third guy rotating is going to be a late rotate. So someone playing library is a late rotate, moto is a late rotate. So someone playing here, that's a pretty quick rotate. So especially like as soon as he sees the smoke come out, like the timing on these smokes, 3 seconds. They take about 2 seconds to plume, and then you throw the mollies. So your execution before you actually get into B site as terrorist, it's gonna take you about 3 seconds of throwing nades. And these guys, like 3 seconds. Well, let's just see what he can do in 3 seconds. Fuck! I didn't start counting it. So he's gonna be holding this. Smokes B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm counter flashing, guys. 8, 9, 10, 11. You see how at the 5th second, no, it was the 6th second or the 7th second, I can't remember. He was able to come here and counter flash to the smoke, right? That delays the terrorist immensely, and it gives, depending on the setups of the seats, if this guy's playing really passive emo, it allows the guy emo and the guy exposed to gain so much information and use that flash for a peek and just delay the CTs, the terrorists, really long. When he's playing library, an angle like this, it would take him, let's just count. Smokes B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm flashing B. Oh my god. That movement though. Alright, so it's 2 seconds longer, right? And that's, as terrorist, that's the case you want to put yourself into. It's never this one. Or it's never this guy shoulder peeking mid, while this guy's playing more of a passive setup, a passive angle right here. You never want the rotator to be quick enough to stop your to delay your B push. And the way to deny that is to deny that the information and push the CT back to a really safe position. So whenever you take brackets control, the reaction of the opper is never to go CT. Bad players go CT. Good players go library or moto, because they know that if they go CT, they're just gonna get smoked out. And once they get smoked out, then it's a 5v2 inside with if you guys do a wrap take, which is terrible. When you always the arch player always wants to be able to help his teammates if after your mid control, So he's usually gonna play moto and gonna be holding this angle, and if he gets blind, he's gonna ask for a pop flash or pop flash himself and peek again. That's what he wants to do, right? And that's where you want to put him. You want to make sure that he goes back here, or that maybe he's gonna go back side, and they're gonna play 3 in inside slash pit, and then they're gonna have the B player come to A. Some teams do that. Some teams like to have only one accurate beat. Pro teams don't, but you know, like semi-pro teams, that's what they do. So yeah, so mid control is literally the second most important thing on default. Banana control is the first one, then mid control, and you need both of these things on every single round of your default to master T-side Inferno. So even if you get pushed out of banana early because they used mollies and smoke, you want to take mid control and then come back to B. And it's not because you come back to B that you're gonna hit B every time. You just come back to B to make sure that they're not pushed up. Because if you don't do that, then this guy can just play an information game and then fall back as soon as he sees you, right? And he can delay he can delay your take for a long time. And if he actually, that's not what I meant. What I meant was he's just gonna be spotting, and if he never sees anybody, then there's gonna be 4 people A. So you want to be able to push back this guy to deny the information that he could get. Okay. That's it. So usually when you take halls, good ways of taking halls with 2 players, it's probably one of the harder things to do on Inferno. So you want this guy to play somewhat of a passive angle, and he can come here, and then I've got no clue how to do this. God, I'm not a fucking. Some people can bunny hop off of this. Just peek like this to make sure that the operator isn't there, and if he's there, he's gonna whiff a shot. Or he can just hold an angle. He can hold this, I guess, or he can hold this, which are more like that. These are off angles. He can do that, and then he's gonna be holding this, and he wants this guy to jump up here. This gotta be fast, right? I see a lot of people staying up here and spamming for 30 seconds. That's not what you want to be doing. You don't want to wait for 30 seconds. You want to do this fucking fast. You want to spam maybe for 2 or 3 seconds. Alright, maybe 5 seconds at most. Boys, I'm jumping up. I'm gonna come here. Fuck. He can molly what's it called? Library. Not library, baby room. And then this guy's gonna be walking up here. And depending on, you know, the level of play you're playing against, you can always pop flash the corner. That way this guy gets everybody that's playing here with the max 7 get blind. That would be a good way of, you know, doing it safely. So you can do that, then peek, and then you can flash into a baby room for, you don't have to actually fucking yeah, you don't have to take a step, just throw it. I use a dot, so he's gonna pop flash for his teammate, which flashes also this guy right here, and the guy close up has to dodge the flash. So it allows you to walk up, and this guy with your flashing the molly is gonna get out. I mean, the molly gets everything, so I think the only spot it doesn't get is this. So you want this guy to be able to clear everything with the flash. Then he's gonna peek his boiler, doesn't see anybody. He's gonna peek this, and then with you, you can double peek and a fall. That's what you want to be doing. And once you've taken Hall's control, then you wanna, depending on if you're off an opera or on whether you have an opera or not. If you have an opera, you can pop flash mid and have your opera hold this angle right here. And with that angle, you can pop flash mid from, there are different flashes you can throw from boiler. It's been a long time since I've done them. You can flash, that's a terrible flash. I don't remember. I think that's a pretty good one. So it's gonna flash the guy, anybody that's peeking an angle in boiler, you can do that to get out of boiler. And then, so what you want to be doing is basically take mid control. So once you've got Hall's control, one of the 2 players in Hall's just drop, and then become mid with the operator to support him. And you know, if you want your operator to slow peek everything, and he's going to be holding this for a couple of seconds, then he can peek wider here. And at the same time, you want this guy to be flashing, and then peeking with his flash, making sure that nobody's peeking these angles. And at this point, that's when you want those 2 guys right there to swing wide at the same time, and have your opera swing even wider with them basically cover the cubby angle, right? This angle right here. So your mid players, what they're gonna do is they're gonna swing, or you can have your opera peek porch, and then peek arch, then peek porch, then everybody gets out, and I mean they basically have to clear all the angles they gotta clear is this and cubby. So if you want to be more methodical about a mid control without using smokes, then you want to molly cubby. Is that how you throw it? It works. Yeah, I think you can throw it. No, yeah, that's it. Because whenever you never want to show your body whenever you're throwing a molly. Oh my god, his throwing skills. Yeah, that's gonna work out. So you want to molly this. You can do the same thing in the under porch. I think you can do that without. Yeah. And now he's gonna see your body right here. So, is there a way? Is this gonna be molly the entire thing? Oh, it does. Well, I mean, you want to molly this and molly cubby, and have a ball flash and everybody get out. You can do that. So your op is gonna be holding the corner while your two riflers just push out and clear truck. That's a good way of taking mid without using smokes. Now, so how depending on how the CTs play, I didn't go over this, but some CTs are gonna tend to smoke mid twice, right? Both mid players are gonna smoke mid, and the first smoke is gonna be coming at 135. Their second smoke is gonna be coming at 117. So basically, at 1 minute, you can take mid without using smokes. But if you want to use smokes because you want to push through their smoke, then what you want to be doing is smoking deep here. And then you always want to smoke arch rather than smoking porch, because the boiler players can't. The boiler player has to peek under porch. He can't really peek this because he's showing his back to those guys. So like this is a synchronized peek, right? This guy and this guy right here. This is synchronized. So you want those two riflers to peek porch together. So you want to smoke arch, and then usually your opper or one of you can call one of your B players to flash here, because they've already taken B control at that point. You want one of these players to toss a flash. Wow, what a terrible flash! You always want the flash to land here. It's not even actually that deep. It can be right here. Actually, that's exactly what I just threw. That way, if this guy's peeking this, like behind the smoke, right? If there's a smoke, actually, depending on how the smoke is, but usually he's going to be peeking this wide, and this guy, technically, he's going to be peeking like this. That way, he's not seen from boiler, and then this guy's going to use the exact same angle. So you want your flash to flash both of those angles right there, whenever you push through smoke. So you want to be using that flash. The guy boiler can still use his flash from stairs. It's been a long time, like I said. I think it's the third step. That guy, I was aiming at like this, I think. And you underthrow it, it's a perfect ball flash. He wants to use this flash alongside this one, and then you can get out and clear those two angles right here. And that's a good way of taking mid control through their smoke. You can do that. And once you've taken mid control, then what you want to be doing is as soon as you know that the molly is going to be is dissipating, then you want to the smoke. You want to molly cubby and have your opper posted on these angles. That way, that this guy, if he was playing there after the molly dissipates, then he's going to get caught out. And if this guy gets antsy and wants to peek, your opper is going to get a free kill. Or you can put a rifler, or you can toss the molly and have the rifler holding this. It'd probably be more of a, actually this is fine. And then you just want to hold brackets control for as long as you want, until you want to execute somewhere, right? And some teams like to play aggressive with the mid control. Unlike Cash, to me, Inferno is in a map where once you got mid control, you need to peek these angles. Even if you have an op, you don't need to do that. To me, like all of these angles favor so much, they favor the CT side so much that even with an opper still peeking these angles, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, because you would basically have to flash before he peeks, and you'd be wasting too many resources, because they can just counter flash. And then since you need flashes for executions, and I mean, they don't, you're gonna be in principle you're gonna be using more flashes to get in to do something, right? So using flashes to take mid control, although it's good, you don't want to have to use too many flashes to do it, right? You want to be able to trade the kills where you don't actually need to flash, and you can't really trade an opera here, so that's why I don't want to double peek it. Same thing for pit. Actually, I wouldn't peek pit. All these angles can be covered by operas. They're just not good angles to get into. So once you've taken mid control, usually what I like to do is I like keeping my opera here, posted on here, and I'm gonna have my boiler player come back here and just hold charge. And I'm gonna have I mean, depending on what I want to do, if I want to go B late, then I'm gonna have 3 players go towards B. I mean, one of the mid player go back towards B, and I'm gonna do usually every time you want to hit, if it's a 5v5 and you've got all of this, all of the map control you need, every time you want to hit something, you want to throw a smoke somewhere else. And this isn't like, I'm not like, it's not a fake. Your goal isn't to draw the player out, right? So I'm not saying, alright, you want to end up going B, so you're gonna throw I don't know, a CT arch smoke, say you want to throw this smoke, right? You can do it from here, I think. I don't know, dude. That's not too bad. That's actually terrible. So you want to throw this smoke, or maybe a moto smoke, something that's gonna make one of the B player hesitate to rotate. So like as soon as he sees the smoke, he's gonna be like, should I not? And some players are gonna be antsy, and they're gonna start rotating really like for half a second or 2 seconds, and then as soon as like, because you obviously the small fake with the smoke isn't gonna play. It's not gonna work for like 10 seconds. As soon as the smoke is up and the guy peeking moto doesn't see anybody, depending on whatever you smoked, or if you smoked pit and you flashed over and they haven't seen anybody for like 3 seconds, then they're gonna say, well, there's nobody here, stay B, right? And this guy's gonna have to go back. But you want, like, what you want to do is just make him hesitate and maybe put him in an awkward position as you're executing. That way he can't really help his teammate. That's always what you want to be doing on Inferno in a 5v5. And then usually in a 5v5, to me, B takes are the best. So depending on how, if I know that the CCs have high economy, so they have mollies and stuff, and they haven't used it in the in the early game, I want to make them waste their molly by throwing a fake execute. So I'm gonna have my B players throw a CC smoke and a pole smoke and maybe 1 molly and 1 flash after the CCs, after the smokes from the CCs have dissipated. That's what I want them to do. So at 1 minute, I'll say at 1 minute, can you fake execute B, and then to make them waste at least one or both mollies. That way, when you actually execute later in the round, they don't have any utility left. Utility left. God damn it, my English is so bad. So, but when the economy isn't in the favor of the CTs, and you know that they don't have, mollies, that's when, throwing fake executions, like to bait nades out isn't that important. So usually that's what I meant to say is going late B in a 5v5 is probably the better thing to do. So it's a classic, I don't know if anybody knows this molly, but classic thing to do is molly this. So I think if you molly here, it's gonna molly that spot as well. Then you want to molly I meant new box. Then you can come here. I haven't done this in a while. Oh my god, I missed it. It's gotta have a freaking outline. So you want to molly emo, right? If you have a late B take and you molly emo, new box, and first oranges, and you ball flash over and you smoke spindles and CT, the only thing that can and at the same time, you make sure that with the one smoke that you've used at A, the third A player, like the rotator, isn't actually at B as you're executing. So you're really facing a 5v2 against people who don't have any nades. That's when a 3 mollies execute with 2 smokes is gonna win you the round. I'd say about 90% of the time. To me, Inferno, I know it might be crazy for some people, but every single map favors the T side, because on every single map, trade kills favor the T side, and trade kills are easy to get. You just need to, execute on them. And what we see from the pro scene usually is that although trade kills are easy to get, mistakes are more often made from a lack, or because of a lack of execution execution rather than because of people misholding angles or missing their shots, right? So, I think that's why maps are CT-sided in general. Obviously, there are points to make when you're talking about why a map is CT-sided. Usually, a map is CT-sided because rotations are quick and sites are easy to retake. I don't think that it's the case for Banana. For B, I think rotations are fast, but sites aren't easy to retake. Whereas a map like Mirage, retaking A is fucking easy. Retaking A or B on this map is pretty hard. So yeah, and I'll be talking about Postmine actually. This video is probably gonna last an hour. Inferno is like one of the most intricate map to play, and I just did a demo review of Luminosity and Fnatic playing Inferno, so probably one of the best tactical team against one of the best screamy team. And you can notice in that match, I mean, what I've noticed is that Fnatic doesn't know how to play T-side Inferno. They've got the basics, like they know that they need to take brackets control every round, but they don't care about banana control at all. And that's how they lost. I mean, literally, I remember watching that match and being like, first of all, if Taco wasn't playing, they had a decent rifler, they would have probably won the fucking half 14-1. But even then, if like Luminosity just lost a couple of dumb rounds, or like on anti-ecos and stuff like that, where Fnatic had not a lot of utility and Luminosity were just fucking whiffing shots. But like macro-wise, Luminosity was dominating them when they're playing CT side. They were preventing A pushes really well. They had good setups against gun rounds. And it really showed that Fnatic's mastery on Inferno T side really was lacking, in my opinion. It was like watching a fucking NA team, except they could trade. So like, although Fnatic's knowledge on this map isn't, in my opinion, the best, they can still trade really effectively. And Crims and Olaf have probably one of the better synergy I've ever seen in my life. Like I saw them play a couple of situations to basically perfectly. Like they weren't making any mistakes when they were playing together, and it was great to see. But other than that, like macro wise, they didn't have mastery of the map for sure on T side. So I went over B, I went over mid. I'm gonna talk about executions, and then yeah, I'm gonna talk about execution. So I went over the B execution with the 3 mollies, the molly emo, so that's something I added. You know, and people are gonna say, well, that's a jump bind you're using. Yes, you can use jump binds with fucking your arrow keys or whatever, and it's exactly the same thing. You just like they didn't take jump binds out of the game. They just made it a little harder to execute, but it's not even hard. So I showed that. What else is there? Oh, I mean, you can always wrap, do a wrap strat, and I'll really go over how to take that execution to the next level. So an execution like this, what you want to be doing is throwing these things. Then you could always, what I would want to do is molly new box. I would throw these smokes and still molly new box emo. And the way you want to do that is that you want to throw the smokes, throw the pop flash. You want to have your 2 entry fraggers. I mean, and the third player go here, and the 2 other players are gonna sit back, and their role is basically to molly those 2 spots as these guys are in CT spawn. That way the molly lasts long enough for them to use it when they're peeking here. And then, you know, with these mollies, what these guys can do, one of these guys is gonna have bomb, so he can. I mean, a good thing that I don't think I've ever seen a team do is he can just fake plant, get out, so that way he doesn't get spammed, and that's gonna give away positions, right? So you can, and it's a pretty safe play to make. You're fake planting for half a second and you're getting out crouching, so it's unlikely you're gonna die. Especially if you don't go in an obvious position, right? If you go here, you're probably gonna get fucking killed, but if you go here where you have really fast cover, that'd be a good thing to do on the wrap take. But what you want to really emphasize on is, I mean, having the pop flashes down. So a good pop flash for this guy right here. Usually what you want to have is a flash that goes over here that blinds the guy in construction, so that way you can wrap with that flash and then peek on the right side. Usually, I mean, CTs aren't going to tend to play here, so I mean, you usually still have to clear it. So what I want to be doing is my first entry fragger is going to be the one jumping here and clearing the left side, whereas my second entry fragger is going to be going alongside him, making sure they're never. So you always want to bait the first guy, just a little bit, right? Because since you have two angles to check out at the same time, this is why construction is so fucking hard to retake. Since you have those two angles to retake at the same time, and your flash, I mean, although it can blind both guys, it's unlikely it's going to do it every single time. So you don't want to peek this, you don't want to do this. Because you want to go fast on a wrap take, so you don't want to do this really methodically and peek all these angles and then come here and crouch probably and peek this. You really want to do this fast. So with the flash, the first guy's going to jump in and peek on the left side, and the second guy's going to be able to trade. So he's just looking for a trade, right? He's going to look where his teammates isn't looking, and as soon as the call is made, whether he's on the left side or right side, he's going to trade the kill, and then they're going to keep going. And usually the secondary player in B is going to be somewhere inside or spools. So, and with sending 3 players, sending 3 players basically allows you to trade the kills efficiently. So it's a 3v2. That's basically it. If both B players are playing it really smart and they're both falling back to construction, then you're fighting a 3v2. But at the same time, once they do that, you know what they do, so you can throw the same execution and then add a smoke spindle and then molly everything, flash into smoke and just peek. And then they're gonna be like, well, we're fucked, we're behind spindles, right? So these are things. Some teams are gonna be able to adapt to a wrap take. You just want to be able to kind of fuck them back. Alright, another good execution. The wrap strat, whenever you want to wrap, there are a lot of different philosophies. Some people just like to have the upper peak everything and just walk up off of contact. To me, I don't like it. What I like to do is smoking everything, because basically whenever you're playing off contact, you're giving yourself a bad chance of purely entry fragging, because people can just hold off angles on you, right? So like I mentioned over at B, when CTs tend to play super passive and keep their smokes, they're gonna play really passive angles, right? This is an off angle. The reason it's an off angle is because at this point this guy's looking here, so he's gonna keep this guy right here. He's getting a free shot. This right here is an off angle. I mean, no, actually not. This one isn't really a good off angle. Good off angle would be here, because at this point this guy here's got to peek this and this. He's not looking here. So when you're walk pushing somewhere, if these guys are playing off angles, they're always going to get the first frag. And since you're all walking, they can always get the first frag, then fall back, because you can't really explode on them fast enough. So, same thing can happen here if you just walk peek, right? This guy can be holding an angle like this, or he can be holding an angle like this. And even if your opera walk peeks like this, it's not a favorable angle for him to be peeking anyway. So this guy's gonna get, if he has decent aim, gonna get a headshot and just kill him. Or this guy can just play here. That's an off angle. So, but that it's still like, that's why I like using smokes on more often than not. So I'm gonna smoke this and this. Fuck. And then I usually want to smoke this as well. The reason I smoke pit is to deny. I mean, it wasn't a great smoke. It's to deny that peak from the CT, to deny that peak, and all of these peaks. So like the only way the CTs can see me is if he commits to a jump right here. That's what I want to do, right? Or if he holds that angle, I guess. But whenever he does that, he's open to flashes and he's open to trade kills from this guy right here. So what I'm gonna do is usually I'm gonna send 3 people or 4 people arch, depending on how many people are left up. So I'm gonna smoke this, and then these are the 2 really needed smokes. And then this third one is kind of, it's okay to have. I mean, it's really useful, but you don't actually need it. And what you want to be doing is having one guy lurk porch side. The reason I don't want this guy to go here is because he's isolated right here, right? Nobody can trade with him. If like when he peeks, this guy's peeking like this, the arch players can't trade with him. So it makes no sense for me to have this guy right here. What I like to do is have my lurker go up truck, and his role is to wait out for the smoke. And once he sees that his players have crossed this area right here, that's his cue to either flash peek or shoulder peek these angles. He doesn't see anybody. He's gonna swing a little wide, and then he's gonna walk his way up here as these guys are running straight into sight, right? So that way he can trade off of any kills right here, since this smoke covers him. That's what I want to do on a wrap take. Something important to note is that you always want your 3rd or 4th guy to watch the pushes through smokes. Okay, something else. I think that's it. I mean, you can the push execution is pretty common. So you want to smoke this. I don't know how the smoke goes. I think it's like this. You want to smoke Moto and an arch. But the arch smoke is, I mean, it's not necessary because you've taken mid control early in the round, so you already have arch control. So you want to throw these smokes right here, and this Moto smoke is really important. Just like on cash on A side, throwing a smoke behind the side, this smoke does exactly the same thing. It basically disallows, it disallows the rotator, the fourth guy coming from B, to get into side and help his team if he was there fast enough. And if the arch player was playing super passive in library, this allows him to do the same thing and like come here. Like for him to do that would be really cocky, and it's kind of a risk. So it's a good smoke to have basically to cut off rotates. Like even if the third A player is already inside, it's still good. The reason I like doing that strat is because pit to me isn't instrumental to a post line position, although it's probably hella useful. I find that whenever you want to take a side with an execution, you want to split the side in two. And I've never seen, or I mean, I've tried many smokes. I've tried to achieve many smokes to smoke off, say like front side, like here, and back here. I've tried a lot of smokes, but it's like you can never block graveyard off. So that's why I've never done this. But like, and you can't really throw smoking lines right here. So I've never found a way of like taking pit without taking pit with a side isolation. So that's why I never take pit. What I usually do if I go truck, I'll just smoke out pit. I can always molly it and see if molly flash and see if this guy can get a kill here. That's the most I'll do. So I'm gonna smoke this and then get into side, kill the people inside, plant, and play the post blind, I guess. Obviously, it's what you want to be doing when you don't have pit control. You want to play aggressive mid, so you don't want to all turtle inside and play passive. So if you don't have pit and you don't feel like contesting it because you're not in great positions to do so. Although you should be, like as soon as you kill the people inside, you would want to storm the guy in pit. But if you don't want to do that, then you need to contest this arch. Like you can't let people run truck. If you do, you're just fucked. So you want to have someone boiler, probably alongside someone playing right here, and contest it that way. So, dude, this video's lasted 53 minutes. Welcome to Inferno, guys, and mastering this map. It's a very intricate map. There's a lot of talking for no reason on my part as well, so I'm sorry about that. So I think forcing smokes, sky control the rotations. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about on T side is how to control rotations. It's a key part of a default is basically when you have someone pushed up banana, you can hear the people. If someone runs CT to rotate like this on this sidewalk, you can hear them. Same thing for if you're up arch here, you can hear people rotate back and forth. So every piece of information is really useful, and you want to be able to use that in a good effect. It's going to basically give you tendencies from the CTs, right? If you keep hearing someone running back and forth, it means this guy usually hesitates, and if he hesitates, fakes are really good. At the same time, if you know that like the first time you executed B, you saw from what you saw when you attacked the site that our third player was here pretty fast. That means that the third player likes to play library or maybe even CT arch, and he likes to give up arch completely and let his A player play by themselves today, right? So if you know that whenever you've taken truck side, the arch player is always inside. Every single time you take you take truck side, there's 3 people inside, and that's why you've lost that. Then you know that the second time you wanna do something in mid round, you wanna go mid to B. So you want to know how the CTs rotate, and at the same time you want to know if you're able to control rotations. Like I mentioned, whenever you're actually I didn't mention this yet, but whenever you're up a guy, which is kind of common on Inferno to be 5v4 or 4v4, whenever the CTs are down a man, they're gonna split 2-2. And the way they're gonna do almost every single time. I mean, some teams are gonna take risks depending on information they got. So like if they're still playing aggressive B and they got control of B, they're gonna play 1-3. But if they don't, which they should, then they're gonna play 2-2. And the way they're gonna play 2-2, depending on teams, is either they're gonna play pit moto, pit side. They're usually gonna give up arch basically. So this guy's not gonna be dedicated arch like library side or in the CT arch itself. Because he wants to be able to help his teammate if you guys come up truck. That's what he wants to do. And then two players at B are going to play however they want. So what you want to be doing when you're up a guy, one of the better things to do in my opinion is mid to B. So you got brackets control, you can just smoke moto, right? And just rush GT. And like I said earlier, there are two different mentalities when you're rushing mid to B. In my mind, I like holding W because I'm an aggressive player. And I'm not looking for picks here. Since it's 5v4 or 4v4, I know that if I can trade this guy right here who's going to come peek from CT, and I should be able to trade him because his teammate is just way too far back to help, I know that I want to take that fight because then I'm going to have a 3v1 inside, right? So those things are good. They're good strats. And whenever you want to split mid to B, something that might be weird for you guys is, because since you're splitting you yourself are going to have probably 3 mid or 2B or 2-2, whatever, however the round, or even 1-3, however the round went down, you want to make sure that if you know that he's opping B, you want to make sure that you smoke CT. This might sound weird, that you either smoke CT or you smoke stairs right there. That way this guy doesn't have free kills on you when you're going into CT spawn. That's it. Alright, mid to B, I went over that. That's basically it. So you want to know how the team plays, and when I talk about the team, I really mean you want to know what the rotator does whenever they're in 5v5s and they've lost control of everything, or when they're down a guy. What is the arch player doing / the B player? Like these two guys are the ones rotating back and forth, right? In a 4v4, the secondary B player is rotating fast, and the arch player is going to be rotating fast. So you want to know these guys, what do they do if we throw an execution in B, if you throw 2 smokes at B. So every piece of information is really valuable, and you need to execute on it, right? And I'm not going to go over every single situation of how to counter their movements, because I mean it would just take fucking too long. But you need to know how to do that though. So I'm done about the T side. I'm gonna go over the CT side. CT side is gonna be a lot faster. So this T side lasted an hour. Inferno, like I said, is really a tricky map to play on T side, and to really master it. I mean, personally, I think that an hour is at least what you need to know how to master it if you've never played it. To understand it fully, actually, is what I meant. So CT side. Alright, CT side, you want to have a strong anchor in B. That's the key of a good CT side Inferno team, is having a strong anchor. So your best individual player is going to be B. That's where you want to put this guy, right? And your second best individual player is usually going to play pit. And if your best individual player is a fucking entry fragger, then you're fucked. But usually, if he's an entry fragger, you want him to be B, like a kind of a Freiburg, back in the day kind of player. Yeah, you don't want him to be Porch, because I mean not Porch, but Pit, because Pit players tend, like, if you're too aggressive, Pit usually gonna get traded, and it's never good. Whereas B, you can play aggressive B and like get 2 for 1s, and you've done your job basically. So yeah, that's the key to a CT side, is having a strong anchor. And like, when I'm not talking about the Pit anchor, I'm talking about the B anchor. Wow, rip my life. So your B anchor is gonna be, that's one of the keys. The second key is to have a mobile opper, and so you don't want to be playing with Fallen. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Because from what I saw, all Fallen does. I mean, I only watched one demo, so it's not a huge range of demos, obviously, of play. So maybe against some other teams he played different, but the way I saw it, and actually he probably does, right? So like, I won't bash on Fallen. He probably plays it proper against teams that take banana control. But since Fang never took banana control, it's kind of like the same thing you get when you're off B side on cash, and you got a good spawn and you opt the cross. If you never see people crossing, then you're always gonna send your opper there, because keeping that information at every single round is so fucking good that you like rotating him wouldn't be as useful as keeping him there. So I understand if that's what Velocity thought when if that's Fallen's thought process when he keeps playing B because Fang never takes B. But yeah, I don't know why I just fucking talked about Fallen, but I did. So yeah, you want to have a mobile opper. So Inferno is a map where in a 5v5, in my opinion, you can't contest mid, and you cannot contest banana in an efficient way, right? So like some people are gonna ball flash and peek. Those are not efficient ways. Like sometimes it will work. Sometimes your timing is gonna work. It's gonna be work in your favor, but that's never how you wanna. I mean, it's not never how it's basically, since it's not a sure thing or a highly likely possibility, then you don't want to base anything off of that, right? You never want to base your defense off of pop flashes. You want to base your defense off of rotating well and holding crossfires and stuff like that. So although pop flash peaks are useful and they can delay a ton, even if you don't get any kills, they're not the main part of the defense. I'm not even gonna go over pop flashes, I don't think. So yeah, a mobile op. So you want to have an aggressive opper who, whenever he gets to spawn to go mid, good oppers. Depending on some teams, usually teams tend to ball flash mid before they cross. So if he's got a really good spawn, he can just run with his back turn and peek the flash it's not gonna affect him, and at the same time he's gonna get a free kill. The guy dropping a Mexican pit. Something else you can do. I mean, these are all common things. You don't need an opper to do this, but like sometimes, like you can always push a window room fast, right? So what you want to be doing is having a rifler go window room and having a second guy come here and pop flash his ult for him, and the flash blinds everybody. It blinds this guy, blinds the guy right here, so it blinds everybody. So and it blinds them for about one and a half seconds. So it allows this guy to, you flashed, alright, I'm gonna peek. If this guy's right there, it's a free kill. If he's not, I'm gonna peek a little wide. Alright, I haven't seen anybody. As soon as you you don't stay there for 5 seconds, because they could always just be here. But those are things you can do at the beginning of the round, right? And they're kind of low risk, high reward type of plays. You can always send your opper here. You can always fast push, and whenever you have a great spawn, you can have this guy cross here and fast put, like run all the way and then walk here. She's not gonna get hurt unless the terrorist decided to run peek ult, which is not what most teams do. What most teams do is really play passive early, spam. So it's gonna come at the door and just hold or come here. But like at this point, usually people start walking because they don't want to give the information that they're there. So that play it's not usually gonna work, but it can really work out if you start walking here and either peek this and decide to take the fight if he's there, or just play it off angle right here, just hold it for a couple seconds. So these are the aggressions that you can make on CT side, and in my opinion, you need to take on CT side when you're playing against an elite team, on an elite T side team. Okay, mobile op. A variety of setups at both sides. So you want to be able to mix things up. You want to have flexibility in your play. You want to have mastered every single setup. So the boost and this guy right below him, you want to be able to play that. The better way, in my opinion, to play that is this guy dodging flashes, this guy peeking, and then this guy playing this angle right here. So basically, nobody's peeking close, like nobody's peeking. You never want to really challenge this unless you're opping, like this angle right here. Like unless you're opping mid, you don't want to peek this with the rifle. Same thing for this, you don't want to peek this with the rifle. Right, you want to be able to send your opper truck side. Like if you have someone in an aggressive opper holding, boilers are like a great thing. Most riflers tend to like shoulder peek it and just give a free kill to an opper. Right, so these are the things you can do. You need to be able to have mastered this setup in halls. There are different ways of playing a hall setup. So either this guy's holding the boost, and you have this guy holding behind him, and then you can smoke this and keep this smoked, so you can throw 2 smokes. Usually when I do a hall setup, I'm gonna have the third guy in boiler, a close truck side to help if anything goes wrong. And what this guy wants to do is smoke mid. You can get in boiler, just get in boiler, and be there for support. And as soon as he knows his smoke's gonna dissipate, he just falls back. And as soon as your 2 smokes dissipate, then you gotta fall back. So, or you can always let your guy in baby room and play someone pit to watch the truck, and then someone arch passively. You want to be able to use pop flash. Oh, we were talking about pop flashes. So the most common things on T side is usually people wrapping or going arch. So you want to be able to play an off angle like this if you're rifling. Play this angle right here, just hold it, and then or jiggle peek. And as soon as you see someone or you hear a flash, you wait a couple of seconds. You ask for a flash from your teammate, or you pop flash it yourself, and you really need to peek with the flash. You don't have to be this wide, but so these are good things to do. Other good setups, like I mentioned earlier, the double molly down B is almost it's unbeatable early in the round. As terrorists really can't do anything when they get double molly. They're just like, oh, you're just gonna give it up. That's a good setup. But at B, the way to play B, in my opinion, is playing passive. Like, you want to be able to go aggressive sometimes, and sometimes you also want to have an opper hold this angle for as long as possible, and as soon as he sees someone, he can smoke in front of car, and then you can pop flash. That's the smoke. There's a gap, so you have to take a step back. That's better, and you can ball flash and have the rifler peek wide and hold these angles. Like, these are good setups because your smoke is kind of delayed. It's not right off the bat, because since he's opping the corner, you want to be able to say you at B you mostly want to play mind games. So the first time you're gonna double molly, like the first time you want to push down, you definitely want to double molly or send 3 people, right? So it's either you decide to double molly or send 3 people. If you send 3 people, then you need to everybody's got to keep pushing. I mean, they not keep pushing, but everybody's got to press down. Like, usually one guy's gonna stay car and 2 people are gonna push down. When you have mollies, you don't need a third guy. So, and then after you've used the mollies, you want to be able to just smoke it and not even molly. They're gonna expect mollies because they've seen that's what you did the first time, and now you're keeping both of your mollies, and they haven't pushed up. You see that they don't push up. So, those are good mind games to play. You need to know to not re-smoke this area a bunch of times. Usually you want to smoke it twice, and then keep your third smoke, like the anchor. It's gonna play some kind of an off angle. You can always play what's it called here, when you can see the cross right here, and he can see if someone comes here, and he's just gonna fall back as soon as he's spotted, and then he's gonna keep his smoke for more of a passive, as a passive utility instead of aggressive. So yeah, you want to be able to have flexibility in an aggressive play in banana. Other things that are necessary, in my opinion, is knowing how to play off angles at B. You need to know how to play these angles. Like, this is one of the best setup, I think, in my opinion, that we haven't seen yet. Right there, that's a great crossfire. And what you want to be, what you want to see happening is this guy holding the more forward angle. So you don't want this guy to be holding this exact angle, because at this, I mean this exact angle, because at this point this guy's dead. Obviously that's not an angle that favors the guy holding cubby. This is a right eye peek, so yeah, right eye peek. It doesn't favor this guy. It favors the guy, the terrorist peeking. So you want the CT player to be holding this right here before he gets to peek you. So he's gonna be holding this angle right here, and as soon as he peeks you, as soon as you hear your teammate shooting, then you can just swing wide and shoot the kill. And then you can smoke, you can flash, you can molly, whatever you want. You can double peek if you want. So you need to be able to be able to play close up behind smokes, and at the same time be able to play far back behind smokes, right? So you want to be able to play behind these smokes and just be dodging flashes. Whenever you play behind a smoke, right behind the smoke, dodge flashes. There is no point in looking straight because nobody walks through a smoke. Even Stewie 2K doesn't walk through smokes. Nobody walks through smokes. So you want to have this guy just dodge flashes, and this guy is going to be the one peeking behind the smoke. That way, even if the spool player gets blind, it doesn't really matter because this one isn't. And whenever you're holding behind the smoke, if you're not blind, you should be getting 2 kills, if not more. So, and that's your goal. If you get a 2 for 1, then you've done your job. So that's it. You want to be able to do that. You want to be able to play really passive behind smokes, right? So play angles like these, where it's really hard for them to flash you because they're flashed through a smoke that usually lands right. That lands like in this area, shouldn't blind you because there's a there's a little ramp right in front of you, right? So you want to be able to play these types of passive setups behind smokes, and then at B, to me, like if you're successful enough, and like the terrorists haven't forced you to use any early smokes, you're gonna win the round and be late. But at the same time, if you're playing against a really good team that can force smokes, then you're gonna be stuck in an awkward spot where you need to pop flash peek for you guys to accomplish anything. Because like as soon as the 40 seconds mark hits, and you don't have any more smokes, and you're not opping B, you're fucked, man. You can't hold these. You're never gonna hold these angles with rifles because it's not viable. So you're stuck holding off angles. But at the same time, if you ever get as soon as you get smoked out holding an off angle, it's either you decide to take a risk and peek out and risk your life. You're probably gonna trade 1 for 1, or you just fall back entirely, counter flash, and it goes pools. So that's why, to me, but you're gonna get smoked out as pools too. So you need to know how to play against. To me, since not a lot of teams molly. Actually, I haven't seen one team molly emo from outside of B. Since not a lot of teams molly emo, what you want to be doing is having someone emo and someone spools, and then this guy's got to synergize with this guy, and then when he hears people run up here, he's gonna want to counter flash, and then jump here and peek over the smoke, and then this guy with the flash can peek as well. So you want to be able to do that. It really's got to be a fast, quick reaction, right? It's not something that's prepared. It's something you do on the fly. You were holding an off angle, you got smoked off, you decided not to peek, you're running to spool, you say, I'm counter flashing now. You want to use this flash in an effective way. So that's how you defend B, in my opinion. Because if you're by yourself here, usually you shouldn't even get it 1 for 1. You should get destroyed. That's not an off angle anymore. Everybody knows this angle, and since they molly out the left side, all these guys have to do is come here and kill you. So that's why you want to flash peek at B, or you can play off. Then you can play off angles if you want. But at the same time, all of these types of angles, if you're in here, this is usually the angle you want to be holding. You don't want to be holding this because you're aiming at head level, and your aim's got to be styled to hit that shot. And at the same time, you're exposed from someone running up here. So like this angle right here is going to give you a free kill, then you can reposition and peek and re-peek, stuff like that. So that's, if you're an aggressive player, you probably want to play these angles, and if you're more passive anchor, you probably want to be the one backside counter flashing, delaying as long as possible. When you're anchoring a site, obviously all these setups require 2 people, and to me on Inferno, you need to be if you have got a strong enough anchor, you can trust him to solo the site when you guys have smokes. Like, as long as you guys have smokes, this guy is gonna be able to just hug here, never peek, and just wait. He's gonna wait patiently, and then some other round he's gonna play behind the smoke this way. That way, say you're a pro team, then nobody's gonna. It's not because they know that sometimes you play behind the smoke and without looking at the smoke, that they're gonna walk. I mean, usually they're gonna want to counter you and walk you. So you want to have different setups where for them to take that risk to walk through the smoke is not good. And at the same time, you don't actually have to do that, right? If you're alone, you can hear these flashes pop. So the only way you won't hear a pop flash is if it comes from here. Oh my god, I missed it. But other than that, if someone is close to the smoke in this area, as soon as he takes the flash out, you're gonna hear the little toot, whatever. I can't make the sound. I can imitate the sound. emulate the sound, but you should be able to hear it. So you can always just peek behind the smoke, and as soon as you hear it, just dodge. Or when you start hearing footsteps, just hug this wall. Okay, yeah. When you're if you usually, it's the key of winning CT side Inferno is a combination of everything. If you're playing against a stellar T side team, you want to have all of that. You want to have great synergy at B, combined with different setups at B, combined with a mobile opera who can get early kills every now and then, combined with aggressive setups at A, combined with flash peaks, with not over-rotating. That's something that's crucial on Inferno, is not over-rotating. So like I mentioned on T side, when I was going over the T side, and I said whenever you want to execute somewhere, just throw something else at the other side. That's gonna make one of the players at the opposite side want to kind of retreat. Like, you never want, as a CT, it's okay to retreat like for like 3-4 steps and come back. It's not good though to as soon as you see the smoke, just fucking never stop. Like, don't stop. That's over-rotating. If you're playing spools and then you see, oh, there's a smoke A, and you start doing this, and at this point you're like, nah, actually I'm gonna stay back. That's alright. That's okay. You can do that. You just never want to commit to rotate that hard, like, and keep on running for like 6 seconds. Like, after 3 seconds, whenever someone smokes and flashes, if you haven't seen them peek within the next 3 seconds somewhere, or you don't hear them, it's because they're not there. So you should never, be running full speed for 5 seconds straight against fakes. It should really be 2 to 3 seconds at most. And in my opinion, Inferno is a map where rotating fast is actually key on this. Like, I have yet to talk about this, but knowing when to rotate early is like in taking kind of risks. So alongside, when I was talking about having trust in your anchor, sometimes you don't have utility left, so you can't really commit the one guy there. So you need the 2 guys, and you're feeling a B push because maybe a terrorist have taken mid, but at the same time you guys retook mid control and you didn't see anybody, so you're like, alright, I'm just gonna take a bet here and walk CT the entire way. That's a play you can make as CT, is retake brackets control. It's really risky, but you can do it. So yeah, so not over rotating, knowing when to stack this, like knowing how to take risks, when to take risks. You need some kind of, you don't want to blindly take risks. If you haven't scoped out, usually when you want to take a risk is if your Halls player is playing here, and I don't know, at 45 seconds you haven't seen anything nowhere, and he's spot flashed Halls, he hasn't seen anybody, and he's holding this for 3-4 seconds, because usually the terrorist response, if he was here and he's getting blind, that means he's going to be blind for 2 seconds, and I'd be probably at the third or fourth second, so either want to jiggle peek or just keep holding. So you want, as a CT, you want to hold this angle for a while, alright, a couple of seconds, or just keep on jiggle peeking. If you don't see anybody, you can start taking that risk. To me, that's a good risk to take mid round. It gives you so much information. Whether you see someone and you trade 1 for 1, or you just get insta killed or not, because at 40 seconds, if you know that there's one guy Halls, and you know off of noise that they've made that there's at least one guy mid, that means they're gonna go B. They're gonna end up going A, most likely. To me, those risks are, it's not something you want to do. Inferno is in the map like Cache or Mirage, where whenever you lose mid control, on those maps you need to push the extremities. On this map you don't, but it's every now and then it's a good thing to do it. These are good risks to take. Whenever you're down a guy, it's 45, great risk to take. So yeah, like I said, whenever you want to stack B, when you're stacking B, you're giving up arch control, basically. So these 2 players have to commit to it. So it's probably going to be Moto, that way you can come back side really fast. And yeah, they're playing A by, together. So you need to master these. These 2 players need to have insane synergy and peak with good counter flashes, right? So there are plenty of counter flashes, 2 for truck from either spots. You can always change it up, have someone graveyard, have maybe around you're gonna have one guy balcony and a guy pit. Sometimes you're gonna have 2 pit, someone here and someone here. So sometimes you're gonna have nobody pit, a guy balcony and a guy side. You want to mix it up at A as well. said my piece about CT side. It took only 20 minutes for CT side. It's not that bad. Learn how not to over-rotate. No one wants to turn the aggression off. Oh yeah, that's right. Last thing I want to talk about was whenever you're up a man, because your upper got a kill or your early setup got a kill, you don't want to stay in that setup. Even if your setup is good, even if you still have smokes and blah blah blah. Like, the thing is, whenever you get a pick and the guy saw there's two people playing aggressive halls, their reaction from the CTs are gonna be smoke truck and go arch. So you never want to stay in there to allow them to have enough time to wrap all the way on you before you can make it back to site. As soon as you get a pick, it's alright boys, we're out. Alright, so this guy jumped in, we got the pick, and his teammate didn't decide to push through our smoke. Fuck it, dude, let's all fall back, let's all run back. It doesn't matter if they hear us, dude. We're just all gonna fall back and I'm gonna come back to pit and you're gonna play passive setup. You wanna be able to turn the aggression off and not overstay your welcome. Same thing at B can happen, right? You can throw this smoke down and then you're gonna play behind the smoke like right here. Maybe someone is gonna pop flash, peek the smoke, and you're gonna get the kill. One of you guys is gonna get the kill. At that point, you don't want to stay here. You want to rotate back. Have this guy just have one guy just looking for information while the other guy rotates all the way back A. The reason you want to do that is because you can always fast rotate back to B, since like the anchor still has the smoke. You can always fast rotate to B when this guy's getting the information. You don't actually have to keep two players like for the entirety of the round pushed up at B. Okay. I think I've said my piece. I know this has been a really long video, and really, Reddit people, I am not here to make 10 minutes videos on maps. I do not think you can master or teach a map in 10 minutes. Teach how to play a map on both sides in 10 minutes. I mean, probably some people, if I could probably make the video 3 or 4 times, and the 4th time it'd be only 40 minutes because I repeated myself a couple times. But other than that, like, I don't think I've said everything. I've mentioned everything, literally everything, and some things I've mentioned twice because they're really important, like banana control. I haven't covered every single thing that can happen, but I've covered most. And yeah, so like, to me, a 10 minutes video on how to play T-side Infernos is not gonna help you. Like, basically, the reason it's 1 hour and 23 minutes is because I'm explaining why the setup is good, why controlling banana is useful, why having mid control as terrorist is really useful, why all of these things I'm mentioning are useful. I'm not only saying, well, the default is this, this, and this, and then this is how you take mid control. Alright, now you got mid control. To me, if you want to comprehend, and you know, appreciate a default and really learn the basics of the default and how to play the map at its core and at its branch, you need to know, you need to understand it fully, and every single part of the default. You need to understand how it works together, how it all sinks in. Sinks in? No, that's not. I think yeah, how it synergizes. Synergizes together. You want to know all of these things. So you want to understand why, basically, is my point. You don't want, like, this video was entitled Understanding the Inferno and not Learning the Inferno, right? I was going into a more deeper but it's a deeper understanding of the map. So you're welcome to not watch it if you don't want to. If you don't want to, I'm sure that a couple of people, maybe 100 people or 200 people, are going to be happy to watch, to spend an hour and 30 minutes of their spare time. Maybe future in-game leaders to learn how to play this map. I don't think any pro players ever going to do this because it takes way too much time, and I mean, they got better things to do with their time. But I'm sure if you ask any players, any pro player to come and watch this video, they're not going to disagree with anything I say. Okay, well, thanks for watching, guys.